Okay, guys, so I have the Craftsman 3.3 XP. Trying to get it to top dead center. There we go. Close enough. Whatever. So I got this dialed in, and I'm going to see what the port timing numbers are. So if you are unfamiliar with this saw so far, what we have here is this is a Craftsman 3.3 chainsaw, which is actually a Poland 3300 chainsaw. And we have mated up to it a Husqvarna 346 XP new edition cylinder. The stroke on the Craftsman here is only 32 millimeters, whereas the 346 XP from the factory, it was 32.5. So we're losing half a millimeter of the stroke. And now that we have it mated up, more work was done by Brennan Cass did this. He put it together and got it to mate up. And he also took material out of the combustion chamber. It's sitting lower and everything. So it's not just simply plopped on there. But I'm eager to see what the actual numbers really are. So here we go. We're about to find out. My guess is it's going to have a really, really low exhaust roof, which is very good. This being a 50cc saw, there it is. This being a 50cc saw, you have got to have a very low exhaust roof. I'm going to go with that right there. What? What? So the exhaust roof I'm looking at, it is, well, you can probably see it on the camera. 117 on the exhaust roof. So that is a ton of room to play. You could have a 117 exhaust roof. That means you're producing power all the way through in order to, before the exhaust opens up. That is freaking nuts, dude. Nuts. Let's bring it up a little bit further where I see really, truly first ray of light. Maybe that would be a number that you could go for. That's still 111, 112. Yeah, it's 111.9. That's 112. Depending on how you read it, there's a lot of leeway. I would normally read it right there. That's where I'm reading it. And that's actually 117.4. So, but anyways, so really, really, really low exhaust roof. Now, let's make sure we don't have any free porting. Nope, no free porting whatsoever. All right, now let's see what the intake's at. God, I bet you the intake's going to be massive. All right, so right there, 84.4. Oh, God. This was a great idea. Oh, my God, that is a great idea. I'm a genius. I'm a genius, and with the help of my friends, this is awesome. Garrett, bruv, you are going to be able to get some serious power out of this. Your intake's at 84.4. Some people might read it a little bit different, like right there maybe. That's 83.8, depending on how you read it. But the way that I would read it would be right there. 84.1. That's the way I would read it. God. Yes. Yes. Now, I don't know, Garrett, you may be wanting to run less intake than that. You may be wanting to focus on velocity and things of that nature. I don't know. I don't know what you got going on in your head, brother. You're going to be able to do whatever you want. But the cool thing is is out of the both of these ports, your intake and your exhaust, the one that you really can't screw around with if it went too far is your exhaust, right? But the exhaust is golden. Golden, brother. You're going to be able to run 112 on the exhaust roof if you want. You can run 108 if you want. You know, you can do whatever you want. There's no free porting going on. Nada. Nada. All you got is clear blue skies of whatever the F you want to do to that exhaust port. That is going to be wicked. I mean, you're just going to be able to do whatever you want. What was it again? It was 117 on the exhaust roof? God, that is crazy. Then on the intake right here, 84. Nice. Now, the good thing, if you don't want to run, that's the great thing about the intake. If you don't want to run that much duration on the intake, a little bit of JB weld on the floor, no problem. You fix that. You run 78, 80 on the intake, whatever you want. Sky's the limit. Brother, this is going to fly. The reason this is going to fly is because you've got room to do whatever the hell you want with those ports. That is fantastic. Fantastic. Most of the time, it is impossible to get more than, say, like 109 on your exhaust roof, right? Most of the time, you just can't do it, you know? But anyways, with this right here, you can go whatever you want. If you want 105, you can do 105. If you want 98, you can do 98. You've just got so many options to do whatever the heck you want with that. This is set up for success. Thank you, Brennan. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this thing together so that I can actually get it in a box and mail it off to you, Garrett. That is so damn cool. Wow. I love it. All right, yeah. Let's go ahead and stop the video here for now. Okay, so there it is. We got it together. We got a few things that I'm sure you'll notice right off the bat, like why is a 330 cover on there. Also, the muffler protrudes a bit out the front there. This is a 346 XP muffler. It's a Chinese one, I think. You know, I don't think there's anything in there. Just got this little pipe there. I had it on my Johnson Red 2153 or 2152, whatever you want to call it. I had swapped the cylinders. Anyways, but what is different? How do we, you know, this is for you, Garrett, because Garrett, you're going to be getting this saw in the condition that it is in. I'm going to send it to you. First off, the 330 cover, all right? You can't spin it over because the flywheel on there is actually hitting the cylinder. So you'll have to remove some material from the back side of the flywheel. That should be the only thing that you need to do on this setup. Well, set the coil, you know, the gap the coil. But that's it. The reason we have the 330 set up is because it is much stronger. It is much more heavy duty than the original setup that was on here. Whenever I get this back, I'll get this sticker off of here. I'll dye this black and everything. But for now, it's good. So that's what's going on there. With the muffler, Garrett, I don't know what you want to do, bruv. But what we got going on here is it is actually hitting this top plastic piece. And if you know anything about these Polands from my video, these plastic pieces would melt like crazy because of a leak in here. So I wasn't sure what you want to do with that. If you want me to build a muffler for it, how you want to handle it. But just know that if you do run this thing, run it without the top. You know, that way you don't melt that top. And if you don't want to do anything with the muffler, whenever I get it back, I'll cut it down, do something. I don't know. What else can I tell you? There's the decompression right there. Maybe we'll use it, maybe we won't. I don't know, but I thought I'd throw it in there. The clutch side, we're all set up. We're good. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, so we have no carburetor or intake at all. I thought about throwing in my intake. I've got a 346 intake, but I'm like, I know you won't use that. I also have a Poland intake. I know you won't use that either. But as it is, you've got the regular impulse line for the 346 XP, which I'm certain that you are completely familiar with. And you have the impulse line for this Craftsman, which is coming off of the case. Of course, it goes without saying, whichever one you don't use, plug it off. But you got all this room in here. You've got the choke. Whether you'll use it or not, I don't know. But it's there. You got the choke, and you've got the throttle rod for the Poland right there. But it's completely open. You do whatever you want to with it. If you want to cut this thing right here up completely, that is your Bobby Brown, meaning your prerogative. Yes, it's your prerogative. Yep, there you go. But you have good fuel lines and new fuel lines and fuel vent, so you should be good to go there. The saw is ready for your magic touch, bruv, and I am very excited about this. It's like, this is going to be the coolest damn Craftsman chainsaw ever to exist, you know. So there you go. I will be boxing this up and sending it your way. Looking forward to it. All right, take care. Okay, in editing this video, I realized I didn't mention anything about Pat the sound guy up in Canada. Dude, your chainsaw is going to get shipped the same time that this is. You getting the Green Hornet. I had a lot going on. Y'all get it. It's difficult enough for anybody under a regular schedule to get to the post office. You throw anything crazy into the mix and you're like, ah. So that's where I've been at. So I'm going to mail this chainsaw to Garrett. I'm going to mail the Green Hornet to Pat up in Canada. I think your last name's Leonard. Am I right? Leonard. I'm going to mail my 3120 to John Bob Millwright. I guess there was some confusion about, maybe at first I had said don't tell nobody, but that's probably because we hadn't nailed down any plans. But yeah, John Bob is going to build my 3120 and pipe it and actually make a hot saw, or whatever you want to call it. Aaron, if you're watching this, I haven't gotten the parts in for the Johnson Red 630. Just waiting on that, and I'll build that up good and get it all solid and good to go for you. I'm not going to screw you over like I screwed over Cajun. I totally did. I didn't mean to. But anyways, that saw needed a lot of stuff whenever I sent it to him. I don't know. Fired up and ran good, so I didn't know it needed crank bearings. It runs good. Just now I totally get the guys who are like, what are you talking about? It ran great whenever I sent it to you. Yeah, you go breaking it in there and doing specific things. Everything's got to be perfect. So, but anyways, looking forward to getting that. Pat Cajun, two different Pats here, should be having the 281 finished pretty soon. It's starting to mellow out on my end here, which means I'll be getting back to producing videos on a more regular, consistent basis for you guys. But yeah, all these trips really threw me for a loop, and it's kind of hard to recover. A lot of times I'll actually make like 4 videos in one day, and then I'll just send them on down the line and stuff like that. But I haven't been able to do that at all. I'm just struggling to get out a video every now and then, and that's why they suck, you know. But we're getting back on the horse, and it's going good. Look at this, guys. Look. So Steve McDowell, he's a viewer of the channel. We met up at Sawfest and everything, and he sent me his hand file square grind chain. All right, and it looks good, and I'm sure it's going to cut well, and I'm gonna test that. But what I've been waiting on is this. It just came today. This is from Gary Buxton. Buxton Saw Works, I think is what it's called. Come on. That's got a serious edge to it. But you know, I can't get, there we go. Maybe that's a little bit better. Looks like it's got a little junk on it right there or something, but yeah, this is, I think he has a Symington square file grinder set up. So he made that for me to test. It's an Oregon. It looks like it's a modern Oregon EXL. It also looks like, you know, it's a used one. This isn't the first sharpening it's had, which I like that. They tend to cut better whenever they get older. But yeah, he was kind enough to be like, yeah, I'll make you one. Because I was like, your chains are awesome. Will you make me one? And he's, yeah, sure, will do. And I can't say, you know, I've told it to a lot of people. I did not run everyone's saws up there at Sawfest. I didn't. The one that I really regret, it's not a regret, it just didn't work out that way. I really wanted to run Ethan Trainer's stuff. Anyways, I didn't get a chance to, but I ran most everybody's stuff, at least all the hot stuff. And Gary's stuff really stood out to me. and now I only ran them on the first day where he had his square file chains on there. And so that, of course, is going to make a huge difference. But I was really thrilled running the saws that he brought. He brought some real stuff to that. They really stood out. Anyways, I was impressed, and I was impressed by his chains. And just on one of his videos, I was like, hey man, that's awesome. And will you send me one? And he's like, yeah. So sure enough, so what I'll be able to do now is do a whack off between the C83, a hand file, square file, and a machine file with some serious angles. I mean, Steve, the guy who made me the hand file, he is just learning, you know, and so it's very typical of a intermediate sharpener skill set, whereas Gary's chain will be very typical of an excellent filer. This is what you can expect with an excellent, really well filed square grind chain. Not race chain, but you know, really nice. So I'll be look for that, you know, soon. You know, maybe I can get it done by next Wednesday, and we can actually have a whack off again and do it with those 3 chains and see where it goes. All right, later guys.